Oh, we're still on screen mode. Shoot, let's turn that off. There we go. Okay, that was a good start. This is why I don't just click the go button, except almost always I do just click the go button. Let me drop the stream link and announcements there. And okay. All right. So oh wait, there's a not Tetris in the way. We got to do that first. We gotta, yeah. I know last time we were thinking about alternatives to not Tetris, and I talked about doing Rails of War. I don't know if the levels in that are too long or too short or whatever. I mean, I guess if I suck, they'll all be very short. But this if I suck, it's also very short. And boy, do I suck. Okay. Okay. Let's put this guy down over here. Let's put this down over here. This is already, we're off to a rough start. The fact that this one's crooked too, because I tapped it just the slightest bit. Alright, but let's see who comes around here on this Thursday, August the 22nd. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday, or if you're watching the VOD, I hope you're having a good whatever day of the week that you're having. Hello, Comrade Pat. Or perhaps King Pat, should I say. Pat, I got a question for you. I'm not sure if you saw it when I asked you a while back. I assume you are at work, which also explains why you didn't see it when I posited it to you again, or attempted to get your attention in your kingdom. But so you recently started volunteering at the Oklahoma City Railway Museum, Oklahoma Railway Museum, something like that. Please correct me. You're indeed at work. I hope work is not too chaotic and terrible. Oh shoot. Oh no. Oh, this is actually really bad on multiple levels. Oklahoma Railway Museum. Okay. Do you guys have the one of two surviving Hinckley-built steam locomotives? There are exactly two. Hinckley was a very minor locomotive builder in the 19th century, predominantly in Boston, Massachusetts, and there are two Hinckley-built locomotives left. One of them is preserved as it was. Another one got heavily rebuilt, I think it was by the Santa Fe, into a consolidation and is now in Oklahoma somewhere. And I'm not sure if it's at your museum. I wanted to ask if it was, because if it is, I want to know if you guys have, like, the original builder's plate from it. I would be surprised considering how long ago it got rebuilt, but, you know, I can dream, I guess. And how substantially it got rebuilt. I wonder if it even counts, you know. They made it into a different kind of locomotive. This has been one of the worst games of not Tetris I have played in a really long time. Oh my god, it's already almost over. No! I didn't even get 1,000. I didn't even... Forget beating our high score. How about worrying about getting anywhere close at all? Alright. So, today, there's a few... Oh yeah, 643. Yeah, we have it. I'm not sure we have the OG Builders plate. Okay, cool. Well, at least you know you have it. It's a neat one. Good evening, Orion. So, anyway, yeah, so I've got... I pulled out my notes from previously. And we're going to jump back to where we were working to get away from all the forests, because my computer's already kind of angry at me. But we have my notes, and I need to update these for multiple reasons. So let me, I'm not sure I can point this at, no, I guess I should just do screen then. These are my notes. Farms to Bellington between Pan Am and Road River. Let's just say work on Bellington / South Bellington. That's an overhead thing, right? Goals operation. So here's the thing: the operation and the automation. These two things are kind of outdated, right? Ooh, crane building a radio tower. That's cool. That'd be a cool thing to set up. Um, been told we could restore it to operational condition, but it got a cosmetic a few years ago, so I don't think it'd happen anytime soon. It'd be neat. Um, it's as long as it gets highlighted the fact that it was a Boston-built locomotive. I don't, I think. Do you guys have like space to run? Because that's an interesting one. Okay, so yeah, we need to clear out the automation for the most part. Now the thing is, because automation's going out the window, there are a few things that we need to work on in the not so distant future to get this thing ready to go out the door, so to speak, as a finished product for this segment. And there are a couple of little scenery things like the castle area, right? Um, but there are also big like structural things, and let me tell you what I mean. Aside from the fact that we need portals at the ends, although probably not at these ends, like the ends that don't connect, and I thought about doing that, but I don't think it's a good idea overall. We need to totally redo staging, because staging needs to be redone to cope with the new arrangement. Um, so let's talk about this. Goals scenery, um, goals operation, and then goals automation. Now the thing is, the automation, we probably don't have a lot of goals for automation. Um, but it's going to be some programming stuff. 3-ish miles of the old MKT mainline. Okay, that's not too bad. That's like 75% of Strasbourg, so that's not too bad. Um, what I need to say is rebuild north staging, and there's going to be some sub things here. Add sub goals. Um, recalibrate turntable track marks. We need to. So here's the thing: we need to rebuild north staging. We need to recalibrate all track marks. We need to rename all switch stands, rename all signals in line with standards. In line with standards. The track marks should all be renamed properly. And standardized locations. Rebuild north stations. Add sub goals for this. Rename ML tram interlocking stuff. Recalibrate and rename all interlocking items. Something is up with the engine spec on this locomotive. It doesn't say what. Yeah, add mainline track marks and standardize interlocking tower path names. Test how path rule works with automatic selection. Probably not something I'm going to mess with right now. Goals automation. Develop subroutines for passenger services that... Yeah, develop subroutines for passenger services. The last super hopper. That's a cool one. Also, tornadoes in Farm Sim is going to be chaotic. Like maybe in a fun way. I mean, people like the weather mod, so for Minecraft, so okay, so this one session always work in route layer unless adding trains. And you know what? I think always working route layer. Yeah. I think I will leave seed. Should I leave seed as a layer? Locomotives and cars. Um, because I'm tempted to. So yeah, seated across the world. All trains currently programmed. I'll say programmed at the time of session start. So the thing is, we need to rebuild north staging. North staging is going to need a build comprehensive passenger yard with train spawning. Build freight yard with uh, engine storage and car loaders for every used commodity. So that's it. That's an important one. Um, Add emptying portal for quick emptying of trains. Yeah. So this is what we need to do, and we need to fit all this in this area. Um, this is north staging as it is right now, and the thing is, okay. Actually, the last thing I want is figure out how many portals we need and what they should do. Um, okay, so yeah, that's the big deal here. We need to rebuild all this. We need to we need to reconstruct all this. This is not going to be our focus right now. I know I talked about the fact that we need to do these two tank cars or these two sets of tank cars. That's what we were fiddling with last time. But let's make some actual scenery headway first, because we didn't do any of that last time, and we're already late. So um, it's just what has occurred to me in between. Oh, and actually for goals automation, uh, clear out old automated trains. Uh, oh, actually that should go down here. Clear out old automated trains that start out on the line. And also, yeah, goals operation, seed all yards and engine houses, all yards, engine houses, and industries. All right. Um, seed all yards, engine houses, and industries. Re-evaluate all industry commodities. Also, Santa Fe 90, one of the FP45s. It's it's interesting that, oh, we could restore the steam engine if we wanted to. The FP45 will probably never run again. It's the kind of thing where it's like, this loops back to something that Northern was talking about, which is like steam power on colony planets. It's like, what does it take to restore and operate a steam locomotive versus a diesel locomotive? What is like easier to do on relatively low technology? Or in this case, what is just easier to do just by like volunteers? Getting a getting an internal combustion engine to run again if something is broken takes a lot more precision than getting a steam locomotive to run again. And that is really fascinating. I mean, it sort of follows that, we invented steam power first. I don't necessarily think that we could have achieved what we have achieved as a species without going in the order that we went in, but that doesn't necessarily always hold true. Also, did I? No, I did not. Um, there's a non-zero chance that we sort of did things in a strange order. Maybe species don't typically go through an external combustion power phase in the way that we did, where it was worldwide, and steam is sort of reserved for making electricity, if nothing else. Um, but that doesn't really follow with metallurgy and things like that. I mean, people had been experimenting with steam power for a really, really long time. before we sort of cracked the code and figured out how to harness steam power and make it pull, like, 20 people up a hill at 5 miles an hour. Uh, it's it's really interesting, and honestly, I love seeing this. And this most recent OpenTTD server, and I'm already pivoting to OpenTTD, but it's really interesting because it is like 1945 in game right now, and so we are reaching an era where we're transitioning, where we're going from uh, steam power to diesel power. A lot of people have moved over in no small way to electricity, um, and do I have any knowledge of any, what is that, 480s on the DLS? That's a good question. Um, uh, but we're and the game is set up to encourage certain things, and honestly, the double cost for infrastructure for electrified stuff is maybe it's too cheap, but I really want that to be viable. Like, I want everything to be viable, and we're at a stage in the game where just about everything is viable. A lot of the diesels that are out are still fairly expensive, but I got an early release of the Baldwin VO660, which, is that what you were talking about? No, you get a Baldwin diesel. What Baldwin diesel did you get, Pat? Um, but Dean, you say that it would be an illogical step backward, but I think we have to take our perspective into account, right? And we need to think about, okay, why would it be a step backward in technology? Is it because we developed steam power first, or is there something else going on? And that's a really interesting question to me. It's a really interesting question because we don't know what we don't know, right? We don't know the paths not taken, the thousands and thousands and millions and unbelievable values of paths not taken for our own existence as a species, with advancing technology. We have no idea what humans might do, or a human equivalent might do, with slightly different starting conditions, or just if the chips, fall elsewhere. And yeah, like, steam power is not very thermally efficient. That's a good point. That's a good point. Steam power is not very thermally efficient, but we do use it for most electricity generation. You heat up water, you make it spin a thing. It's it's inefficient when it comes to moving stuff compared to internal combustion, but it's not overall inefficient. Uh, but yeah, I suppose that comes down to space, right? Um, you can get more energy density out of an internal combustion engine, but it's tougher to scale that up to, like, power plant size, right? Um, uh, I saw an argument in the last 72 hours about why preserving a lot of static display steam locomotives back to operation is impossible. Nothing is impossible with enough money. Nothing. Nothing. There's they launched an electric car into space. They did surgery on a grape. They pulled a locomotive out of a river in New Zealand and restored it, and then they did it again in the U.S. at Skookum, right? They pulled that out of a thing. Army 4648. What is that one? Army 4648 diesel. Oh, it's a VO. No. It's a VO 1000, it looks like. Hold on. 46, 48. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Yeah. Okay, it's a VO 1000. Oh, it was re-engineered with a 567. Of course it was. Of course it was. Um, uh, but yeah, no, anything is possible with enough money. You can restore something and run it on the main line with enough money. Even, like, even the railroads that are the most sticklers about it, you know, like Union Pacific, you can run a locomotive over Union Pacific. It's not that hard. You just have to pay the insurance cost of about $2 million. Easy, right? Uh, how are you going to get the make parts? How all arguments for why you can't take the locomotive on display in Kingman and get it back to operation. Kingman, Arizona. Uh, hold on. Kingman locomotive part. Oh, yeah, 3759. I mean, anything is possible with enough money. Anything is possible. Uh, the like and Santa Fe stuff, there's so much like big steam Santa Fe knowledge that floats around, right? Between 3751, 2926, that's Santa Fe, right? Um, and then those are the two that come to mind, but they're definitely not the only Santa Fe steam engines that are in operation. Isn't the giant Pacific the that's in like Kansas or whatever and had the explosive fart? Um, money can't buy experience is true, but money can buy manuals. Money can buy as many tries as you need to get it right. Money can buy over and over and over again. Experience is nice, but you can replicate. You can make artificial experience. Uh, but the Santa Fe engine, there's plenty of Santa Fe experience going around, plenty of it. Um, hello, Mew. Um, let's see. Let's grab this. I'm just going in this direction. Gotta go, might be back later. Have fun, Pat. Be careful around the plains. Um, you'd be surprised what is out there in terms of books, right? And we've talked in the past about learning stuff out of textbooks, and it's not easy, but it's very possible. There's a Angela Collier, a physicist, that has a YouTube channel. Very cool person. Um, love her content. Love the physics talk and everything else. Uh, talks about or has talked about teaching yourself physics, which sounds like an impossible task. It sounds like a Herculean effort to teach yourself physics, right? But she lays out some books and really makes it sound extremely possible. And the thing is, those books are written so that it might be. And that's something that's easy to forget. It's like, oh yeah, textbooks. Oh, textbooks. But those books are written so that you can learn from them, not just because they've got uh, questions in them. Uh, another thing in steam preservation, diesels have a lot more parts available. You can replace the whole engine proper. Sure, but diesel parts, once they're discontinued, are a lot harder to make in-house. And that's sort of what I said at the beginning. And I think that's important, and I think that's honestly kind of forgotten, if anything. Um, the fact that it can be legitimately difficult to... It's a lot tougher to manufacture diesel locomotive parts than it is to make steam locomotive parts, because either way you need machinery, right? Like big machinery, but your precision needs to be a lot higher for an internal combustion engine. Your metallurgy needs to be better. You can't get away with it, but you can make a steam locomotive boiler out of cast iron or riveted steel. It doesn't have you don't even have to know welding to make a steam locomotive. To make a diesel locomotive, you've got to cast that block, and it's got to be spot on. You don't have room to maneuver with your piston rings, right? Your cylinders have to fit in there. In a diesel locomotive, in an internal combustion engine, if you have leakage past your cylinders, you're going to have a bad time. you're going to be burning oil left, right, and center. And that's not as big of a deal in a two-stroke engine, but it's not good. Um, uh, Scaling it down, searching for any discontinued parts several decades down the road can make looking for that part a nightmare at best. Yeah, ask me how I know. I totally agree with you, Dean. Ask me how I know. And I know you've joined my crusade a time or two. I've been grateful for it. Um, uh, I don't think the ATF cares about boilers, but yeah, there will definitely be some regulators that might not enjoy you making a boiler at home. That said, TJ and I have made a boiler in his kitchen. Uh, so you know, it's give and take. In fairness, it wasn't a boiler that really held pressure. It was more of a concept of a boiler than anything. Um, but yeah, don't just go making boilers. It's a great way to die in a boiler explode. It's a great way to end up in Foamer Valhalla. Um, which, you know, yeah, it was a glorified tea kettle. It really was a glorified tea kettle. Um, Boilers are classified as explosives. Boilers are I don't think that in any serious jurisdiction a boiler is actually classified as an explosive device. An explosive device is generally something that is supposed to blow up. Importantly, boilers are not. Um, the ATF does not care about your boilers. They've got better things to do. Or worse things, I suppose. Uh, is this a taller hedge? I need a taller hedge than this. No, that's just a worse hedge. Um, I need something bigger. Oh, we've come back to this, which, yeah, this is a nice enough fence. By better things to do I mean not exist? Make of that what you will. Rolls up his sleeve to show a thing of whatever the hell. Uh, Big shrug. I'm not someone who ever expects to spend any part of his life dealing with the ATF. Um, I just try not to meddle in the affairs of government agencies. It almost unilaterally ends poorly. Just saying. Um, where's the Apple iPhone factory industry located? Oh, that's a really good question. Um, you know what would be funny to just do like the whole thing where it's like they go on stage and go into here and then go on stage and tell your jokes to somebody else. Uh, no, but no, I don't need to be rude like that. Um, where's the iPhone factory located? You know what? I want you to download the route and look around and let me know if you find it. It's there. So actually, we can just say it's the closed. The tanks in this world are called iPhones. Um, the closed down tank factory used to make iPhones. Actually, it'd be even funnier if it was a Galaxy Note 7 factory. Aren't those the ones that exploded? Pretty sure those are the ones that exploded. Speaking of bombs, um, that's definitely what the NSA wants to hear. Here's how you can build a bomb. All right, let's bring this to like here. Hella tired. Been up for nearly 24 hours, so I'm headed to bed. All right, get some rest. I blame Amazon for showing me a G-scale Bachmann 460. You know, what side of Tolbert is the silicon factory on? Yeah. Where's the wildlife? Oh, I didn't answer your question though. Hold on. Hold on. I don't think I have any 460s. Hold on. 460. Oh, does this one count? Does the 3-foot gauge one count? This one's on the DLS. I don't know if I have any other 460s. I think I might have some really ugly looking ones. I'll say that much. I might have one or two kicking around somewhere other than this one. But I don't know where? because I really... Oh, there's one. There's a 460. There's a New York Central one. This is a Ben Neal model, if I had to take a guess. In fact, I think this one's over in the Roundhouse. So, like, I'm being real, I have not checked these streams since the TRS 2019 release. How much has changed? I love it when people come back after a hiatus. That's a good question. So, after the 2019 release, so yeah, it's good to see you, Redding. It's been a hot minute. I don't remember where we were then. If we had Pan Am done, I can't recall. If we didn't have Pan Am done, this is the town of Pan Am. It's a Midwestern-esque town. It's got a little dirt airstrip, a grain elevator, and some other stuff. And a little... Here's your train station. Town of Pan Am. It's also got an orchard, which I think is a missed opportunity because I realized I have a thing for that now. I can't remember where we were TRS 19 release. We were probably down here. You tell me. This is Mason's Landing, and then I built all out through here. It's not too much to look at, but it's all here. Up to the connection of the interurban area. That would be, yeah, that'd be up that way. So that's up here. Yeah, Mason's Landing. Okay, well let's take a fly down the railroad here, because this is Mason's Landing. It's probably pretty much how you remember it, because it really hasn't changed very much. I think I made a couple of minor edits, particularly to the back of the bay, but yeah, like this. I don't remember if this was here. This was kind of a late addition. But yeah, this, and then you have a corresponding little thing over on this side, and the main line heads out here, and you have a bunch of stuff here. Little churchyard, little like Grange Hall or whatever, some farms, and the farms just get bigger the further you go. This very slowly opens up into just straight up farmland. This bridge is here. I like this bridge. It's a hard left turn at the barn. I'm gonna have to super elevate that one of these days. Going through and doing super elevation on this railroad is going to be something else that I'm not focused on. And this just becomes like Kansas flat. It's flat as a pancake. You get little farms here and there. You get some bigger farms like this one, which has got some stuff going on. This is probably as like a farmer's market or some such thing. Right on this corner here with this underpass, which I like the way this came out as well. That's a cool area. Always liked your farms. Trees intercutting them is something not a lot of people miss out on. Yeah, and this area, and it was part of it was just to be transitional, and part of it is very real. You know, you've got sort of windbreaks, you've got trees spacing, you've got chunks of trees. This, I actually meant to add another one out here somewhere, one of these, a windbreak, and I can't remember where. But as you get further out here, it gets more farms and less trees, which was a quasi-deliberate choice. If this loads in, you'll see that there's this river that's winding through here, and the road and the railroad sort of cut off on one side of it, or cut off one side of this forested area. You have Jasper Mills right here, named for the Steven Universe character. I was on a big Steven Universe kick when I made that. Thanks to Gloria. And now let's fix that right there. Then we come down here across this bridge. So we cross this river. This is not the first time that we crossed that river. And then we cross it again up here. Which, yeah, this is an interesting one. I made this out of a bunch of different splines. We have like a little, like, fording the river spot right here. So you just drive straight on through. And then we're in an area with virtually no trees. Although we do have Pan Am here. One of the things I've always loved about these towns in the Midwest is everything is just straight flat farmland, except for occasional windbreaks and streams. But when you get into a town, people actually have room for trees. They don't chop these down. So we come through the town of Pan Am. It is a relatively small town, but it grew a lot larger than I had expected. You have a couple of commercial areas down here, and then at the other end of town you have a slightly larger commercial area with town hall and the Stagnaro building, which is like it's the tallest building in town. Um, Roadside diner, little park. Um, yeah, that is. It's you can spell it as one word or two words. Uh, oh God, what is this? I never paid attention to what this was. It's just a monument. I didn't realize it was Harry Potter. Um, and then you've got your Route 66 coming through here with hotels and warehouses and open areas and a greenhouse and a supermarket. Um, Here you have a Victorian mansion stuck in the back. It's 2-7. That means iPhone factory. No. Uh, and a couple of other little industries here. I think this one we didn't set up yet. Oh wait, maybe this. What does this take? Just general goods or something? It's probably a team track. It's no, it is not set up. It's got nothing going on. Okay, so we need to do that one in particular. Let me add that to my to-do list. Um, Pan Am Team Track Industry. So we've got a lot of industry stuff to do as things work on, but no iPhone factory. Good evening from the job site, comrades, says Mopac. Welcome, Mopac. Um, Ballard Mills. I actually feel like I should scoot this out a little bit, but I really like the way that it sort of wedges in, and I think I did this on purpose. Um, you've got a mill here, which was formerly water powered. You can tell this. You've got a low head dam here, very dangerous. Don't swim near this. But on the flip side, this was your wheelhouse, which is now a boiler house. And yeah, so you've crossed the stream here. You have another railroad crossing here, which is just dirt, and I'm realizing is one hovering, which is not ideal. Um, I'm still at work. Someone please send food. Oh, poor Mopac. I wish I could send food. We don't have a crossbuck at this. We need a crossbuck. Hold on. Show search filter. Every time I go down, I find more things. This is just a standard crossbuck. Very straightforward. Nothing fancy. Okay. And this. I wish I had one of those giant B&M crossbucks mounted to a piece of rail. Some interlocking here. There is a way to get all the way over. Notice that these two have no thing, and these do, like, I started slack and I added these two crossovers way after the fact. And then you're back out into the open prairie, and with some little stands of trees here and there. No windbreaks in this area. It's just dead flat and open. You have a nice little underpass that I like quite a bit. And you've got this following alongside. Just a little dirt track that runs along the edge of those fields right there. There's a track asset that's a horn sequence, great for AI trains. Yeah, I think we had those on the Iron Horseman route. I think it's on the DLS, or at least something is. Apparently, Alistar Dissart was an IRL person, a big name in the Trainz community, who was also a Trainz 04 and Trainz 06 beta tester. Oh, wow. Okay. That's really interesting. I wonder why it says Harry Potter as well. I guess he was a big Harry Potter fan, or maybe that was his screen name. We've got a pair of bridges here, an old bridge and a new bridge. Um, and then here's another one. We've got these crossbucks with the 4 tracks, with the like Eagle River sign or whatever, or Pioneer Valley. Um, this one is like a cow pasture, which we need to put cows in that. And then we get into, oh wow, has an IRL diesel named after him. That's intense. Um, so we roll into Bellington and South Bellington, the twin cities of, uh, yeah. I didn't know. I knew it was something. I knew it was something from another thing. The twin cities of Tolbrand, and show the boat. The boat. Where's the boat? Um, so this is an area with a lot going on. Uh, this is an area with a lot going on. There is a little dirt track here. I was encouraged to add this. This is fun. This is a fun little thing. And it's even got a gazebo where if you are at the hospital, you can walk out into this and sort of watch stuff going on through the bushes from the gazebo, which is a fun little one. This is going to be a very large burial ground next to the hospital, so don't. If you got a window facing this way, just don't think about it too hard if you're in there for something serious. Um, that's rough. The boat. Yeah. The boatmobile. Um, I started laying out the roster for what is effectively a Class 2 short line. Invisible track so I can drive cars around on it. That's such a good idea. Oh man, I don't have. I'll put that on the scenery to-do list. Also, put cows in the fields. And then I'm going to add a thing to add invisible track to dirt track. I don't know what you'd be able to drive on that, but something. So, yeah, this is the roster for a Class 2. It's the most important diesel locomotive of all time. You're goddamn right. Which I forgot to add a diesel filling stand here. So I just shoved it in this spot afterward next to the ash pit. This is an area that I sort of modeled to be as annoying as things are in Railroader. You have tracks that are difficult to deal with, a very short back shop that you really can't fit much in. I'm just noticing that we've crushed the office door. These two buildings were supposed to be smushed together, but now there's the tiniest space between them. That was not intentional. Let's fix that. Hold on. Let me go into Surveyor 2.0 and fix that. Drivable fat controller's car. Was driving in my Fred Flintstone car. Okay. Let's just there. That makes the back shop even shorter, but at least it looks less insane now. Torture test the VNT 440 on my own up red marble. Good luck. So yeah, this is the former roundhouse of the Jefferson and Gilson Railroad, which originally built through here. Now it belongs to the Class 2 Mansfield Branch Railroad, which is mostly a grain line. A granger. They go out into the fields. This was the old erecting hall, because it was fairly important of an area. This was the old roundhouse and building. You've also got just a maze back here, because I got carried away a little bit, where you can go see Jesus. And then some other smaller industries here. This one that is closed down, reminiscent of East Deerfield Yard in Massachusetts. Another little warehouse industry here. Some more warehouses. A propane dealer, which these are the tracks that go to the propane dealer and the big tanks and everything like that. Like, this is a distributor for oil for the region. That's going to need some work. We've got a track for icing stuff, because we have a meat packing plant here and a leather place across the street. So the meat goes into the reefers and the stuff goes into boots. A lot of these buildings are kit bashed, if you couldn't tell. And then just some other random industry stuff. We have another river here with another low head dam and a mill that probably would have once benefited from it. Uh, this river winds up through the middle. You also have a branch line that serves stuff along the mill predominantly on this side, or along the river predominantly on this side. This branch line got split in two when they built this. So now it's operated from both ends instead of in one piece. There's some stuff on this side of the river as well. This is a mill town, if you couldn't tell. You also have a cement plant. And this diamond in the middle of town, little DOT storehouse area, and I've been slowly building out the burbs on this side, mostly row houses because it's an older and denser kind of town. But you have falling water here as well because it fit too well. I placed it down by accident, and it fit way too well, so we figured out a way to make it work. You have the old waterworks and falling water next door, and a little park area where you can sit in a bench and look out at the river. This is going to be one of the schools. There's another one over here with a football field. And then, yeah, more industries on this side of the river. This place is going to be a munitions factory of some of some description, actually. Probably just making, like, bullets. Not, like, you know, tank shells or anything. Yeah, I've definitely crammed a lot of industry into here. This town in particular, I knew I was going to go a little nuts with. And to be frank, I think I went a little nuts in Mason Valley to begin with. But Mason Valley, all told, has one industrial area, and it's this. One singular industrial area, and it's this. This is closed, or well, this is no longer rail served, I guess. This is closed. You have a little bit of like 3 industries up there, some industries along the water, and a couple of transfer industries over there. But you've got your bleachery, and then your recycling facility, and a couple of other miscellaneous industries. This place has a lot of industry for its size, but it does not go nearly as hard as the other one. Oh, Missouri Southern historian Norbert Shacklet died. Talked to him just a few months ago. I'm sorry to hear that. I know you've been really digging into the Missouri Southern, and I'm sure he was a great resource for you to be able to talk to. It's always a shame when someone goes and takes all that life experience with them. At any rate, that is the abridged version of what has gone on in the last, I suppose, couple of years. It's been quite a bit. And yeah, a lot of these industries, like some of them are heavily rail served. Like this one, you've got 2 places to spot cars. This one, you've got 2 places to spot cars. I think this one over here, you've got 3 places to spot cars. Yeah, there, and there. This is post. This is like post playing railroader, setting up industries, right? And sometimes you have industries that take like a bunch of different things, and sometimes you have industries that do a lot but really only take one thing. Here's another industry with 3 places to spot cars, although the middle car is probably just a runner or storage, or the middle track rather. And then you have stuff like this, which is probably the largest single industry, and it has exactly 1 place to spot cars and 1 place to store stuff. Oh well, I guess if you count under here as well, yeah. So you got a second spot there. But this is a very large industry complex, and it doesn't have a lot of work associated with it. Whereas this does, especially because of the track arrangement here. You've got this, which is a through siding, mostly out of necessity rather than convenience, and this, which you've got to back stuff into. Oh, that's kind of sad that he died not knowing about the second photo. Yeah, and then this is just a very large industry. Um, well, don't beat yourself up over it. All right. I did say I wanted to get some scenery done before I went back to fiddling with the spreadsheets and all that jazz. Um, let's. I'm not sure exactly what to do next. I started working over here, and I wasn't super confident about it. But that's the thing. You sort of got to just start doing stuff. I understand why you loathe building cities, Reading. It is so much work. It's a painful amount of work, and it is absolutely thankless because nobody really cares. And that like I don't think anybody really cares that there's going to be blocks and blocks of town going out this way. Like, yeah, okay, when you're driving a train up here, which this will go up into the mountains, when you're driving a train up here, you will get to see all this from the back, which is nice. And really, it isn't that bad because all of this is within one tile of track, and that's my limitation. Um, but yeah, everything is really clustered in here because everything appeared along the river. Like there are no industries along the elevated track for kind of obvious reasons, I guess. Like why would you need one over there? Um, but also the elevated track came much later, so what would be the point? Um, there are industries along this river on both sides, but there isn't going to be anything further upriver than this. And then over here, I am actually working on building a really big grain processing facility with barley and hops and wheat, as well as its own engine house. Like they're going to have plant switchers that live there at the recommendation of Casey because she knows about these things. Um, yeah, I agree. I agree with the. It's hard to find assets that fit together. Um, yeah, elevated line heavy industries in a serious urban area, and maybe we'll do that at some point in the distant future. But yeah, here it's this line is actually fairly Johnny come lately in terms of the town's development. So there's no reason that it would get that kind of thing. Um, the narrow gauge Missouri Southern locomotives burnt tree knots. Yeah, I mean burls aren't really good for much, so check them in a firebox. They're pretty, but they're not good for much. They're tough to work with without modern tools as well because they can be really hard and the grain is all over the place. Um, but yeah, it is. I agree. It's hard to find assets that pop, and it takes a long time to go and like sift through stuff, etc. Um, personally, I know my stuff is going to be a mix, and it gets easier the more route you build. And I choose my wording carefully there because I'm not saying the more routes, plural, you build. I'm saying it gets easier the more of a route you have built, especially on a mega project, especially on something like this. The reason being, the more you build, the more you can go back and grab stuff. If you spend a little bit of time working in an area, or if you spend a little bit of time of your working in an area dedicated to finding a new asset or two that you think will fit, and then and then checking to see if it fits, uh, then you know that it fits, and you have that later. Uh, Reminds me of the Westchester, PA route. Oh yeah, okay. I wasn't explicitly going for that, but Pennsylvania has a lot of the hallmarks uh, of this, and I can definitely see Westchester fitting right in to this style. Um, in terms of relatively old milling as a sort of how things came about, right? Um, let's just put this over here, and yeah, I've always said that it's important to just find a few assets that you like, and then that you like and that fit together, and then go from there. right? But the thing is, the longer you go and use pick lists, actually using the pick lists, the pick list tool that we have in the game is it can be really helpful because those things stick around between routes. And if you go, okay, well, I don't know what I need, is okay, let me grab this group of stuff that I've already established fits together. Um, you know, uh, you've seen my Westchester Trainz route, right? I sent it to Trainz 2022 finally. I'm not. I think I have. If you've shown it off in the Discord, I've definitely seen it. Um, I know you were working on a route that I was reasonably impressed by the scenery on, and if that's what that is, then yeah, I've seen it. Uh, and I did quite like the scenery, and I liked what you were going for, and I kind of agreed with it in a manner of speaking. Um, Actually, these need a different fence than this. I'm just throwing up. I'm throwing up the wrong fence. Um, Nope. Nope. Come on. Show search filter. Um, Fence. Some of these are too darn fancy. What about this? I wanted this area to be a little bit fancier, so having this sort of makes sense. Having the fancy fence. But what I'm saying is make use of your pick lists. And if you're working on a single route for a long time, try to make a physical pick list. Make sure that the time that you spend sifting through assets is not time that you have to repeat. If you already know if something works well because of last time you figured it out, then you know for future and take advantage of that. And there's a lot of tripe out there. There's a lot of mediocre assets, and even the mediocrist of asset has, is worthy of respect because it takes a lot of time to make even the most basic thing. But okay, let me scoot this up to here. And I saw you working on your flipbook animation, Bryson, and yes, it's. I made a flipbook once upon a time, a long time ago, and that takes a lot of work. You said you're doing it for class. I hope it comes out great. What about meme assets? Well, no, even meme assets, even the dumbest thing takes effort. Like it takes effort to reskin, to remodel, to kit bash. It's all like a lot of work. That I feel like people that call stuff ugly, you know, like yeah, there are the knowledgeable people that still go and dunk on folks that are just giving their level best and are not very good at it yet. But like you got to be better than that. You got to be better than that. You got to do better than that. You can't be mean about somebody who's doing their best in any capacity, right? You have to have respect for the fact that sometimes things are hard for people. And beyond that, as Jake the dog would say, sucking at something is the first step to being kind of good at something. No one's first model is going to be beautiful. No one's first reskin is going to be beautiful. You won't know what you don't know. Nobody knows what they don't know. And some of it is stylistic. You can go for a simpler style, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think something that's a deliberate stylistic choice is getting, it gets as much negative press, we might say, as something that is just altogether not that great, but is somebody's good attempt. But I know that I don't know. But you don't know what you don't know. You might know that there's a lot that you don't know, but I think I know that I don't know what I don't know that I know. Yeah. Yes, I know you're just having a laugh right now, but it's true. My favorite line of a song possibly ever is "You don't know what you don't know yet," and it's words to live by. It is legitimately words to live by. I love to sit back and think about that. I love to live that because it makes life a lot easier when you're less frustrated. Uh, the more you know, the more you know you don't know. Yeah. Well, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? You want to be past the part where you think you know everything. And the easiest way to get past that part is to remind yourself that you don't know everything. Because you don't. And nobody does. Nobody knows everything. Um, Even to my physicist YouTuber there. Um, I like she speaks with confidence, but it's clear that there are things that there are limits to that understanding. And you should always make it clear that there are limits to your understanding in every phase of the game, in every phase of life. In arguments you have, you will be a better debater and a better discusser if you go into discussions cognizant of the fact that this person might know more than you, or at least might know some things that you don't know, even on something you feel charged about. And I know this is something that I've said 1,000 times before, but I think it's really important for my internal philosophy. It's really important to me. Um, it's the thing that ticks me off about some historians. You think you know, but why do you keep making people? You think you know, but why do you keep making people? You know what's correct. You see, I just don't know about that. No, it's you know, and history is one of these things. History is something that will always be a guessing game because we can only ever yes, go find your primary sources. Go talk to people if they're still alive. Go, go read books and get different angles and get a more whole understanding of a topic, of a slice of history, of anything. But know that all of those accounts are going to be biased in some way, maybe not intentionally, but often unintentionally. Um, they're going to be incomplete because even a even something that has multiple perspectives is not going to be perfect, and all of those perspectives will be biased. And the author and the editor may also be biased. You know, uh, everything that we see and know and learn is filtered through someone else's understanding and someone else's experience. Like 99.99% of the time. There's a reason you should remain skeptical of the things you hear. But at the same time, you have to, at some point, give in, right? At some point, you have to say, this is as good as it's going to get. This is as much as we're ever going to know about something. And so we have to draw our inferences from here. This is as much as I am ever going to know about something, so I'm going to have to draw my inferences from here. And that happens a lot in politics as well. It happens in everything, but it happens a lot in politics. People base everything they know, everything they define themselves as, which don't define yourself as a political belief. It's not good for you. Um, Off of incomplete knowledge, because knowledge will never be complete. And you have to accept that fact. You have to accept and internalize that fact. You have to be cognizant of the idea that this firmly held belief of mine could be wrong because I don't have all the information. You might have all the information that you want, but you don't have all the information, period. And you never will. But for a train analogy, Scott's making the first go 100 won't ever be confirmed because of things like 6402 and Truro. You're absolutely right. There are some things that we can say for certain about Scotsman. We can say that it's the first widely accepted 100-mile-an-hour run. We can say that it's one of the first, if not the first, with a with a recorder, right? With a record. Although I believe there was at least one example of another European locomotive that had a dynamometer car. I don't know why that one wasn't as heavily publicized, but these things are lost to history. We will never know. It is an unending, yeah, and steam speed records in general are a really good one because so many railroads just straight up did not care and did not equip their locomotives with speedometers. You were supposed to figure it out exclusively by vibes. Um, you were supposed to be timing in between mileposts. You were supposed to be counting the ties as they went by underneath your feet. Listening to the chuffs of your locomotive and figuring out how fast it's going based on that. Wing it, right? Uh, it doesn't seem like the soundest system to me, but boy howdy did they get away with it for like 100 years on most railroads, if not longer. It's the kind of thing where it kind of blows my mind. Milwaukee Road 6402 going 100 wasn't confirmed since it was recorded with the speedometer connected to the drivers, so technically wheel slip could interfere. From that I've heard. I didn't even know they had speedometers in those engines. Um, it could interfere. You don't think it would at high speed like that, but you know, people are awfully picky about these things. Dynamometer cars exist for a reason because they're supposed to be more finely tuned and calibrated and paid attention to in a way that the other stuff often isn't, in a way the speedometer in a locomotive often isn't, in a way that timing between between things often isn't, and that's not unusual or even really unprecedented. It raises this standard in a way that is like almost impressive in a way. It's kind of like, okay, well, if that's what it takes, oh, we're just not going to figure it out. I'm imagining that's what sort of the railroads thought in a lot of cases. If it takes this much effort to prove that our locomotive is the fastest locomotive, then we really don't care that much. Um, so, yeah. Let's see. What could we put across the way here from a school? Um, Supposedly mine. I have no clue what was going on that day. I stick to SDNA and DRDW, so I can't declare that as fully true. Yeah, and if there was any railroad that wasn't going to be vying for the speed record, it was probably the Rio Grande. Um, they didn't have very much room to run like that. Um, yeah, it was Blue Peter that had the crazy wheel slip. Um, uh, oh yeah, you got it. You got to it. Um, it counts. No, no, it doesn't. Um, I don't know what to put here. I have no idea what to put here. I'm gonna have to go like look at a park. Like honestly, I'm gonna have to go to Google Maps and look at a park and figure out what needs to go here because I don't know. The thing is, we need to work on this area. This should probably be my goal here. Once I figure out what's gonna go here, I'll do that. Um, the T1, yeah, the T1 and S1 have the potential to slip faster. Let's see. There's really just there's not a lot of these because a lot of these like river areas, um, they would have been extraordinarily polluted if they were downstream from any mills at all, and you don't really want that. So, yeah. Actually, let's look at Mechanicat. There's Dyer and Randall Ponds. Now the thing is, Dyer and Randall Ponds are just next to the cemetery, so that's not very helpful. Um, there's not like any space that's sort of reserved as like a park, right? It's just all in the background of stuff. The only place I'm thinking of is if we go over, it's just a place called Playground. Um, If we go over, there's a reservoir. I'm missing. There it is. Okay, so there are just some like baseball fields here across from the school, which is sort of what I was thinking of. Um, but the thing is, this is not large enough for a baseball field. So I think I might just leave this open, or maybe do like a very, a very light scrub grass here. I think maybe just some open green space is not a problem. Also, I'm sinking. Let me sit back up. Part of me would be curious if you'd want to put a blacktop here, for the kids, but I don't know about that. What's up, baby?
They just announced the Polar Express 2.
For real this time?
Mm-hmm. It's confirmed on the IMDb.
I'm Googling this. There is a Polar Express 2 listed on IMDb.
It was posted with a screenshot of the Google page in the fan chat. Just want to leave this here.
It's been confirmed it's in development. Yeah, but confirmed by who though? I'm curious. Because the most recent thing is we have an article from June 20th, 2024. But I'm not believing it. I don't believe it. Don't buy into the hype. I don't believe it. Okay, let's get some other grass in here. I need it to be like a wide and very thin sort of scrubby grass, not like that. I need it to be not grass that's going to be full of ticks, is what I need. Honestly, this might be a good use for, this might be a good use for the turf effects grass. Or this, which just blends right in. Hi, Virgo. No, full of ticks. Yeah. No, hold on. Let's see if I have that turf effect. Because let's see if we can use that. That might be a way to do it. But I'm going to continue fiddling with this. I want like a wide grass that's noticeable. Actually, do I even want it to be noticeable though? Because the M spline, no, not the M spline. It was the L spline. No. And the N spline, was it the N spline? Yeah, it's just not wide enough. It's like, why would I do this? It just looks bare. I might just leave it though. I think I might just leave it. I'll put some around the edge here. And then I'll just leave it. Because it is just the way it is. It's not legit if a single blade of grass does not have 100 ticks. So, this is what I wanted to do. This area here. I was tempted to put some stuff on this side. Like houses or whatever. But I think I might just leave it. The only thing I might do is I might put up a wall along the edge here. Which, if anything, it's probably going to look like this one. Although maybe a brown brick one. No, that's too intense. Wall stone. How about the stone wall then? Yeah, this'll do. Let's just bring that right up to the edge there. What if I put a track in between the two roads? No, this is supposed to be like a swale drain. This is the reason this boulevard is like this is because there would be water flowing down the middle of it, but I don't have a way to represent that properly. Now we've got plenty of track going around over here. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, what's being worked on today is, generally speaking, uh, this schoolyard, I guess. I guess we'll put a blacktop in the back, and I'll just put this wall to box it off. Maybe this will be... I'll have this related to the school somehow, I guess. Give me that, put it there. It's a little gap there, I don't love that. Can I just scoot this up just to there is probably fine. Should have jumped into Surveyor 2 for that, but alas. Yeah. So, yeah, let's bring this over here, and we'll line it up better later. For now, I'm just going to put it like that. Just to remind myself, I want this boxed off with walls. And then we're going to take care of that triangular block in between Bellington and... or in between South Bellington and the former town of Derry, I think it was? Something like that. The one with the schoolhouse. Dells. So yeah, we need to do fences and driveways over here. This is what I was working on last time when I realized that I hadn't, realized that I hadn't been working in route layer, like, the whole damn time. It's also already 10 of 9, which, boy, time is flying, isn't it? The air in Derry, yeah. The Derry air. Let's put the 2 driveways side by side. I think I'm going to leave this incredibly cursed looking house the way that it is. And then this one, which, oh, right, the LOD is just really aggressive. Weird. And we'll put this on this side. And I can't put that on that side because it's too narrow. So honestly, I think I'll just scooch it into that and put them together, which these neighbors have got to be real friendly with each other because you're literally sharing driveway space. Not unheard of, but I know some people who would not, that would not go over well with them. This is the bricked up house. Laugh it up, people. We're going to put a driveway there. Then we've got that. Okay. So we've been using these driveways so far. This guy in the Sears house is not going to have a driveway. So we'll just do that. And then this guy is going to have a driveway that comes up to, like, here. Yeah. This right-of-way is probably going to be very wide. I would imagine there's going to be fences, like, far over on this. We'll stick with this driveway, though. Because I'm tempted to switch it up, but maybe, like, one person will have a weird driveway. Like an asphalt one instead of a concrete one. Because we use different ones elsewhere. But this should sort of speak to the age of this place. There we go. I skipped a couple, but I'm not sure what I want to do with those two. And then you have, like, our Japanese house in the corner, which I can imagine also will not have a driveway. Maybe they can just pull in somewhere else. These two... 12-foot asphalt driveway. We'll put this right down the middle. Say this is like a mother-in-law suite. Or something. Which is why it looks like crap. But yeah, only the most exciting stuff today, I'll say that much. These guys, if anything, they would have a driveway off the back here. Which, that is hovering. Right. Nice. Let's fix that. What is the easiest way to fix that? Probably just to raise this up. As long as these guys aren't literally hovering in the back, it's fine. This one is. That was an immediate problem. Okay. Let's just grab this. Radius down, sensitivity down. Okay. Yeah, we got that. We got that done. This one, I don't think is it is hovering a little bit. Hover house. That's the little stuff you need to pay attention to. But the thing is, I can't get too, I can't go too overboard with flattening things because I want to make sure that everything is, you know, I want to make sure that there is enough terrain variation to be realistic. And now I don't think anyone is gonna like jump down into human person mode and like walk around here going, oh yeah, this reminds me of my old neighborhood. I love the giant metal pipe in the background, clanging sound. But it's something. My goal was to sort of get some realistic terrain variation over the course of this town. And to be honest, I didn't do as much as I would have liked. There isn't really a defined high point in town, and honestly, maybe there wouldn't be, but I feel like there should be a little bit more than what we've got going on right now, because right now this town is fairly flat, and the only real elevation changes are either in areas that we haven't built in, or and won't be building in, or they're man-made, like the causeway or the embankment for the railroad. Not ideal. Not really what I was going for. Not really what I wanted. But I should have thought about that more when I did the terrain work for this town. I sort of just made it all flat and called it good. And I think in the future, I will spend more time on the terrain work of a town and the subtlety of terrain work across a town than I have previously, because almost all of the towns have been completely flat. There have been a couple of incidents, like the there have been a couple of instances, like in Olive, this Smith Hill. Like Olive has some pretty serious elevation changes going on. But is that is that really what I'm going for? Because maybe they're too serious. Maybe that is too much elevation change. It's more than I need. It's more than I want. I need some subtlety. I need more subtlety than what I've been doing. Or maybe I've been doing too much subtlety. It's just been too subtle. That's the problem. No, but in seriousness, everywhere, every division has the hill. Every town has a hill. In some manner of speaking, obviously. The towns in Kansas, they don't have hills. Remember to appreciate your hills, kids, because there are starving children in Kansas that don't have any hills. And because of this, like, I'll jump back to Olive and look at it for a second, right? To sort of get a load of the terrain elevation changes that we've had going on there. Now, Pan Am is dead flat. I just want to say, Pan Am is dead flat. There's literally no elevation change here at all. But that's sort of by design. You've got the river valley, and that's it, right? The next, like, this is pretty flat. This place is pretty flat. The area in Mason's Landing that's built on is all pretty flat. Yeah, like you can see all the way across town like that. I should have added like a little rise here. That would have been nice to see. And honestly, I still could. It wouldn't disturb much to do that. But the highest point would actually probably be like where this guy's house is. That'd be a good way to do it. Let's see if I can do it carefully. Now it is not. Okay. How much taller does this have to get before this guy's house is the highest? Oh shoot. Um. Hmm. I really thought everything I had was set up like that, but I guess not. Great. Now we got to fix these. Let's do it in Surveyor too. Every 60 seconds, a hilly town is designed with hills. Alright, let's lift up. That, okay. And then we'll lower this end, because now it's on a slope and it wasn't before. You too. Okay, yeah. Well, we know we've made a difference. Wasn't I might have got a little overzealous there. I might have got a little excited. A little carried away. There. Now this guy's house is the highest part. And this is the kind of terrain variation that I'm talking about. Very subtle, very understated. Why did the railroad come through here? Because it was the lowest part of town. And we do have a minor hill over here, which helped us build this, right? But if we go to Olive, which was my original goal, which is really the only town with terrain variation, this is all flat. All of this area is flat. And God, look at all the detail I put into Olive. Like, there are some things that I probably will never repeat, and most of them are here in Olive. Is that trail going through the overpass? Is that trail going through the overpass mound a former right-of-way? I don't think so. I think it was, well, yeah, but for roads, I think, if I'm knowing what you're talking about. But yeah, like, these buildings going up the hill here, this area is a little bit hilly, but this is pretty flat. That is pretty flat. Most of the hilliness is pretty much the hilliness is saved for railroads and not much else. Like, this area is the only really hilly part, and it's pretty sparsely populated. I put some big houses back in the woods there. That's kind of it. And then we've got a couple of government buildings up here on this hill, which in reality would probably be surrounded with stuff, but we've just got parks and all that jazz. Yeah, so you're asking about the right-of-way back here. If I remember right. This right here is yeah, former road. Would have gone this way. Would have come this way, would have cut across the main line there, and then gone through here, and now it's rerouted to this side with the bridge over. Good eye though. Good eye. That's a little Easter egg. We're gonna get as much done of this as possible, and then we're gonna go and get as much done of the other thing as possible, of getting the stuff in. So we need some fences. This is gonna be more like Olive than much else that I've built. But the thing is, we did a lot of trees in Olive, and I don't know if we're gonna do a lot of trees here. Not sure if those details are in the cards. We'll find out. Excuse me. Search filter. Fence. See what we can find. Shinkansen fence. Yeah. Fence wood unpainted. Yeah, this looks like a good connection to this right here. So you said earlier that new engines are made for the railroad. That's considerably new considering before I think there was just an 080. The new engines are made for the railroads. I It's considerably new considering before I think there was just an 080. Maybe not exactly what I meant. Like people out there like catting stuff or making stuff. Not exactly what I meant. But yeah, that there are a few things that have been done in the last, I don't know, year or so. Uh, but there hasn't been a huge push. I mean, the Great Tolbrand Reskin project is not like chugging along as one might imagine. If anybody wants to jump in on that, there is a channel in the Discord for Tolbrand, or there's a thread rather, under Fake Model Railroading for Tolbrand, and anyone can jump in on that and try to contribute. I probably need to go through and rethink what I need, and honestly, part of me wants to abolish that and start all over again, but that doesn't make any sense to get rid of. The plans that I've had for the rosters of locomotives. Now, the only thing that I probably should do is I should review them and see what a railroad like this would really need. And thankfully there are some folks in the Discord that have been really angling into learning that. Learning how many locomotives a given railroad has and what's appropriate and what isn't appropriate and how many is too many and how many is not enough. By like looking into the rosters of previous railroads, and like I totally ballparked my numbers. The numbers that I have for like in the documentation for Tolbrand are not really based on anything. They're based pretty much exclusively on vibes, and any understanding of how many locomotives a given railroad has come basically from a lot of loco games experience and not much else. Um, I don't do the kind of digging that so many other people do that I respect immensely and just don't have the time for. Um, and that's why I always need to surround myself with people who are willing to help. That's why I'm always so very thankful for people like Tyler who are willing to help. Um, Tyler and Graham and everyone else who contributes majorly, but those are the two that get named because one is the researcher and one is the photo editor. But lots of people do research, Bender and East and Kaiserin and Fort and all these folks that have put together their own stat sheets. Honestly, I could keep rattling off names until the cows come home, but that's the gist of it. There's a lot of people that have sat around and developed stat sheets, which are helpful on multiple levels, because every time I have to answer a weird question or get Tyler's help to answer a weird question about stats, um, it is eye-opening about this and that. Also, I recommend that people check out the most recent episode of Loco Royale. It was a great one. It has a killer ending, the likes of which we have not seen in a long time, and uh, it's also just an episode with, like I said in the episode, it's a lot of parity that we haven't had in a long, long time. Um, and it's really interesting that. Because this season we're back to basics. We're doing Royales based solely on uh, Royales that are pretty much exclusively by wheel arrangement. And that has already been really interesting. And we're only one episode in. Speaking of which, before I joined in, I discovered that the South African railways did indeed have some 2-foot 462s. I am not altogether that surprised. That seems like something that Hemlock would have appeared out of the woodwork with, given the chance. Um, They missed the call by a little bit, or didn't want to do it. I don't know. They were retired. They've been retired for a long time, but you never know when someone gets a change of heart like that. Um, this is gonna go. Oh, this is also hovering. Oh yeah, of course. If the one road was hovering, this road is also probably going to be hovering. Um, and that screwed up my hard work, leveling stuff out. Great, cool. Love to see it. Maybe this time I'll just be a little bit more aggressive with it. And honestly, if I add another spline point here, that should probably help. To a non-zero degree. Yeah, so that's a little. Okay, I see what's going on here. Let's lower this. And then let's actually jump into Surveyor 2 to lower that road segment. So let's lower that like that. And that. Okay. Although I want this property line to line up, so I think I should scoot this fence over. And once again, I've lost my search filter. And what I should probably do is just draw a fence from here to here, parallel to the sides of the houses, or vaguely perpendicular to the road. And I should probably turn it around, because the outside is usually the part that is the worst looking, and that's the part that you face out. Okay. Nope, did it again. Oops, I did it again. Alright, let's try third time's a charm. Put a fence over here. Yeah, there we go. And then put a gap in this fence here and here. This right of way is going to be a lot narrower than the other one. And in fact, I think I might want to even bring the little shotgun houses in so they're right up close to the road, to really hammer home this what this is like right here. This area needs some trees. We need to go through and do some foresting in this town, just in general. Probably not right now, but in general. Later on in the life cycle. Let's throw down a shrub spline in here to make that area functionally impassable. Not going to be working your way through that. And then I think I'm actually going to box this in with this kind of fence. Did I do it backwards again? How do I keep managing? Well, you know what? No, that's fine. You want it to be like that. And then bring this over to, you know, that one is backwards. That one's actually backwards. I wish I had a button to just flip that. That'd be great. N3V, get on it, please. But for real, it's not that important, but it would be nice. Oh, okay. We have a garage facing this way. I didn't even realize that. Wrong way. Let's do that, and then let's actually bring our driveway up to here then, and maybe even make the turn into the garage. There we go. And there. Just some little scrubby grass in the backyards here. Nobody's here to mow these lawns. And there we go. Okay. What's next? We are making good headway, at least. These houses on this corner, they probably need some attention. I think I might break them up with a much older low stone wall that might have been here previously. Um, Maybe it's been here for like hundreds of years, honestly, and it's just been, you know, whatever. Although that is a little bit too well kept. So let's try, whoa, not that one. Let's try this one, this very low stone wall. Also, I can't help but notice that I may have put this in the wrong spot because, yeah. Maybe I'll put it here instead. Instead of having that fence go all the way through, just have this wall end right about there. The tiling on the wall is not great. I think we're just going to have to live with it. It's a nice looking wall otherwise. And it's definitely a DLS asset, so there's that. That always helps. I get concerned when I'm putting down stuff that is packaged. Because you never, like, I'm never quite sure if I'm going to be throwing something down that's in paid DLC. I get nervous about that. I don't want to do that by accident. Dirt and leaves. I think this guy's going to have like a dirt and leaves backyard predominantly. Why? Because he doesn't, his grass does not grow, except for around there. It just doesn't. Back to fence. Not a snow fence. Not a barbed wire fence. Don't need to go crazy. We have a lot of derelict fences, which is a really interesting one, because I don't really want to do too many derelict fences. This isn't that kind of neighborhood. But I suppose we could have areas that aren't not that kind of neighborhood. In this case, this can just look like this. That's fine. I love this hill in the backyard, though. That's very real to me. That reminds me of one of the places that I grew up. One of the houses I grew up in. There was a big slope towards the back door. And one of these childhood memories that sticks with me is that because of that slope, because of the fact that the backyard was like a big bowl that faced the door to the basement, and it was a full-on door. It wasn't like a whatchamahoo's it that you open up and then walk down the stairs. It was just a full-on door in the basement wall that walked out. You walked out into the backyard. That basement flooded so bad, so bad. And it's something that like even my mom will talk about that and reminisce about when that basement flooded. I mean, she didn't like live in there for various reasons, but that was one of the things. She'll always talk that up. She'll tell that story. Let's just have this go this way. And then let's separate this with something. Some kind of fence. Fence picket. I don't know whose fence this is, so I don't know which way it's gonna face. But this is the kind of house that looks like it would have a white picket fence across the front as well. Trees do so much to this. Like, olive is not much different than this, and this looks way more plain than olive. Like, so much more plain. It's kind of impressive. It is a reminder that we need to go through and do, it's a reminder that we need to go through and do, that is a little bit too intense, and do trees around here, because without it, we're really missing something there. Like, we're really missing something. Why are these posts that color? Oh, it's a metal fence. Didn't realize that. This is a two-dimensional fence, but whatever, it's fine. And like I said, the right-of-way of this road here is larger than it looks, so this fence is going to be right up close to this house. It's not a 3D fence, but whatever, we'll get away with it this once. Just this once. Okay. The OG Lake Tamaleo. May have been, because that house was owned by my grandparents as well. But I would assume not so, considering timing on everything. But because this house and that house are owned by our grandparents, I actually don't. I assume this one came first. As far as I understand. Privacy fence. And we're going to come out to right about there. Eyeballing a 90-degree angle. Always the thing to do. Always easy to do. Definitely. And do that in work and in life. Make sure you're always eyeballing 90-degree angles and things like that. Especially if you're like a carpenter or an engineer. Like, I really don't see a way that it can go wrong. This is like the 47 amps meme. Just 47 amps all at once. This as well is going to have like this this dirt area. Oh shoot, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. I think that might have been something weird because I had the filter on. Okay. Although, once again, right away, very large, pull this back to like there. And then probably put this fence in between, because if they want privacy, right? Put the fence in between here, and then, how about a pool? How about an above-ground pool? Boop. Some little extra in the back of that place. What? Oh. Oh! Maybe I'll leave this like this. That's funny, it's like the same fence. I thought it was glitched out. Like, the bars look the same, it's just a little bit shorter. And honestly, I'm pretty sure it's because they're the same, you know, they're the same thing. Anyway. Alright, so we've got that large house with the thing there. We got that going for us. I'll actually probably want to put some trees in the back, so I'll scoot that pool up a little bit. Let's see. Oh, we've got so many more houses to do. So many houses, so little time. This is why Olive took forever. This is why this whole route takes forever. Someone is going to just spring for a chain link fence and make life easy. And they are going to box themselves in just like this. This guy said, I'm not mowing anything that is not officially my lawn. So I am just taking what the surveyor says is my property and nothing else. And you know what? The maintenance people can handle that stretch in front of the house. I'm not mowing that either. There we go. I'm surprised I didn't leave a strip on the left side too. Worm fence. Nope. This place would probably have a nice fence with the little frills up top. These people went a little bit overboard on the fence. They bought a very nice fence. They also put it right up against their neighbor's house, like right on the property line. No easement, no extra room. And they put it right on this property line too, so it's going to be there to there. And then it's going to go and sort of follow the curvature of the road to there. And honestly, I should scoot that over a little bit, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay. And I'll extend this out from there to here. Also, this fence looks like it does not have a bad side, which is nice. The posts are a little angled, but I'm not sure that's that big of a deal. Okay. Let's scoot this over to make it as perpendicular as we can get it via eyeballs. And this guy is going to be in a tiny little lot. Like a very small lot. Because if we put his fence, imagine, like right on this property line, whatever it is, and we'll bring that up, and we won't even meet it. We'll just end it there. This guy has a strange little lot. He probably bought it from this guy or whatever, although then the fence would be over there. And this area back here, I'm not entirely sure what to do with. I know we said these two were together, which, yeah, okay. MS fence diagonal? Oh. This also isn't going, and then we'll just fill in the middle spot with trees and grass, I guess, because if no one's maintaining that area, no one's maintaining that area. It's just the in-between, right? Or maybe this guy does. Maybe this guy maintains this. He's got that. That's part of his property. Okay. I need to get Gloria in here to, like, do Sims stuff for all... What the... No! Well, at least that helped, but... Excuse me. Let's jump back to Surveyor 2.0, then. And lower the fences. Because the fences are too high. They're very nice looking fences, but they're not supposed to be off the ground like that. Alright, back to Surveyor Classic. Didn't take long. Oh, this is probably gridlocked. Wizard houses. Yeah, I know. This is the wizard lives the wizard lives here, and his mother-in-law lives here, actually, because the wizard can enter the Mind Palace, and he doesn't need nice accommodations because he has the Mind Palace. I'm actually going to extend this chain link fence. Wrong one. Alright, whatever. I'm not fighting it. I'm just going to make a new one. I'm not fighting it. The wizard like the Nintendo movie? Maybe. Or maybe a pinball wizard. How do you think he does it? Alright, well, Nintendo with the Power Glove. Yeah, no, I don't. Or maybe it's just Magic Johnson. Back to fence. and we'll go and do trees at a future date. Um, in fact, if we are gonna do it all, what the hell? I think I know why I have these. This is probably like, that's got to be like someone's screenshot competition doing. Uh, Mew, what makes him so good? Uh, Old Tarred Fence. I recommended everyone watch the 12-tone video about Pinball Wizard. It's fantastic. Also, I didn't know that there was a. I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know any of the I'll say it. I didn't know any of the background around that song, the album, anything like that. Had no idea. Never heard of any of it. I knew that song, and that's kind of it. Um, so, that was eye opening in more ways than one. It was super gosh darn cool. And frankly, I mean, I can't say enough about that guy's videos. I love them to death. Um, is this hovering too? I'm tired of those. I'm done with those. I'm not dealing with those anymore. Um, yeah, I mean, 12 Tone is a great channel. I've shouted out two people so far this episode, I think, and they both are very well deserving. And then I actually think what I want to do is, instead of this, I'll do that to there. And I'll just fill this corner with crap, with scrub grass and crap like that. Um, you know what's crazy though? I've been listening to so much. So I've been binging, and I'm not a binger, so you know this is bad. I've been binging Overly Sarcastic Productions' Miscellaneous Myths series. There are 90 videos in that playlist. I am at video, I think, 70. Uh, and most of them are pretty short, and the long ones I'd already seen. So I've been getting through it relatively quickly. But it's still, A, really fun, B, really eye-opening and impressive to see all the research that Red does. Um, Look at more than just the fictional guy, like the whole concept album and everything. You go look up 12-tone Pinball Wizard and watch it after this. Don't put it on your watch later. That I know it's going to go and sit there behind 1,700 heist videos, and you'll never give it a watch. I recommend it. Um, so okay, that's fine. And we'll just do grass up to the corner there, and I need to put the grass in the corner under the road, like that. This block is pretty close to being done, except for trees and stuff, which, yeah, trees are going to come later. I think if we do the trees from, like, from a top down, yeah, understanding Pinball Wizard. I guess that's what it is. 12. I assume there's only one 12-tone video on Pinball Wizard. If there's a second one, I want to watch it. But yeah, let's do that. And then we've just got to do this row of houses here. Now, do we do this row of houses, or do I go and put in the other... Do I go and put in those other things in the spreadsheet? I think we do that. Yeah, yeah. It's a long video. It's worth it. I think it's worth it because I really love pulling apart music. Maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you won't enjoy it as much as I did. But if you're curious, I'd give it a watch, give it a listen. It's not really something you have to watch. And I know that you're not one to put something on in the background and focus on another thing, but it is like that's just 12-tone stuff. Like the visuals are sort of like the Big Dig podcast, which there we go. I've recommended the Big Dig podcast. That's we can cross that one off for this month. I have recommended WGBH's Big Dig podcast. I'd look that up if you haven't seen it. Um, Watched a video about two guys unearthing the story behind a mysterious Minecraft world, like a scripted thing, or like somebody sent them a random Minecraft world and they were figuring stuff out, or was it like an adventure map? Adventure maps are dope. I miss when those were a big deal. Um, anyway, uh, yeah. So I love picking apart music. I love like analysis. I love analysis that's positive. I know I've beaten this subject into the absolute ground, but I'm so tired of negative, like the thing you love is bad, actually. No, it was a video called I Didn't Make This Base, and it was a legit mystery for 10 years. Interesting. It sounds like that Doom map. Uh, myhouse.wad, I think. That's something like that. The thing with Minecraft is, it's tough to keep people, um, like, on the straight and narrow, right? If they want to figure out all the things, if you're making mysteries, and I'm not saying that it was intentional, but I'm saying if you were doing something intentionally, um, it's tough to keep people on the straight and narrow because people will get curious. People will get curious, and then they'll just like turn on cheats and fly through the walls. You know? Um, yeah, Mew. I recently learned about my house, like maybe a month ago, and what a trip! What a goddamn trip! Um, so it's called Very Strange House in Minecraft that I did not build. I'm gonna Google this. Very strange house in Minecraft that I did not build. Um. Oh. Hmm. This links to anyone experience took apart all the nether other parts. I found a house on top of a mountain, equipped with stuff. Uh. That's probably not what you're looking at. It's a 2010 video. The one I found was a 14-minute long thing, but uh, yeah, 20. Yeah, so it's the alpha Minecraft thing. All right, so that is what I was thinking. What it is. Uh, the thing about that is there's no like, you know, there's no way it would happen just magically. And 2010 is a little early for Minecraft mods to be doing weird stuff, right? Um, it's not like super. I mean, yeah, it's pretty darn early. It's alpha Minecraft. Um, so you just sort of have to assume those things are almost exclusively hoaxes, or in my case, because I had a uh, apparently it's caused by a pirated copy that converted with someone else's world saved from the same time. Interesting. I I find that explanation curious because Notch really did not care about piracy, and it was just him at that point in the game. So I don't know. I don't know. Um, if it could be recreated now because you have access to all the versions, that would be really interesting. But my so I had something similar happen, believe it or not. And I know I'm like being critical of this, but also I had something similar happen. It was just a friend of mine had gone on my computer and built a little hidey hole. That's it. Um, it wasn't really that exciting. It's just something I didn't know until years later when I just sort of I got up the nerve to ask, or it came to mind when I was with him because it was a friend that I didn't see very much at that point. Um, all right, there we go. We got some fences. We are so close to being done with this. I need to just throw down some fences and call it good. Um, This like new thing. This is a new looking house. That's really interesting though. It's interesting that, it might not be that, like, the fact that it was a pirated copy. I would imagine it's because it's a specific pirated copy that had been messed with, perhaps. Because the first thought was, oh, it does weird things because it's a pirated copy. Makes me think like it does weird things intentionally because it's a pirated copy. There are games that um, there are games where if you get a pirated copy, some things work poorly. I think famously, Video Game Dev Simulator or something. Uh, all of your games that you create would fail due to piracy if you had a pirated copy, which is very meta and very funny to me. Um, but because Minecraft was so young in 2010, it strikes me as, okay, yeah, pirated copy, but not like a pirated copy that was out there as bait. More like a copy that someone modified and distributed and wasn't super clear about the fact that it was modified, and so now you end up with weird stuff because it's modified. Um, or beyond that, even beyond that, uh, video was filmed on October 31st. Ooh, spooky. Uh, but yeah, and that just makes me think, like between that, it's either that or like April 1st, right? Uh, if something is uploaded on either of those dates, I go, okay, I'm ready for a bamboozling. But it's fun to dream. It's there is a, and I know I just leaned into it. And I honestly apologize. There is something to the modern internet where everything has to be debunked. And yeah, if you're presenting something as this real thing happened to me, and it absolutely, like, categorically did not, um, then yeah, okay, that deserves to be debunked. But like the stories on TikTok and stuff like that, stories on Reddit, there are places where things are uh, expected to be truthful, expected to be nonfiction, but fiction stuff slips in there. Then there are spaces where it honestly doesn't matter, and you're supposed to treat it as nonfiction. You don't usually, like, look at your medical drama and be like, that would never happen. That's so not real. Like, this story's so fake. It's like, it's not being presented to you as the God's honest truth. It's being presented as like a okay, this could happen. And with like skits and stuff on TikTok and whatever, uh, it's like, okay, yeah, okay, maybe the thing you're describing didn't happen necessarily the way you're describing it. Maybe this funny video is staged. So what? Like, let people enjoy life. I don't know. If you're not treating it as like, if there's no consequence, right? If there's no consequence to treating something as something that actually happened, then where's the harm? The thing with stuff like the Minecraft video, which makes me think a little more. The thing with some stuff like the Minecraft video is, in order for something like that to happen, there would have to be like a cause, right? Like a prank video being staged. There's no, you're not really losing anything there with it being staged. It's a prank video. It's designed for the viewer, right? But if, like, there's a weird thing that makes a random house show up in Minecraft, well, suddenly there's stakes, right? Because, like, somebody had to code that. If that's real, somebody had to code that. And if it's something that, like, showed up in someone's game, It's Minecraft. Everyone theoretically has the same game. It should be able to show up in everyone's. It should be able to be reproduced and found in the files and everything like that. Like it's not so much about debunking something and saying, "Oh my God, that's so fake," as it is like you want to get to the bottom of the truth of the matter because if you can recreate it, that's interesting. Like that's cool. Like I would want to know if there's a rare structure that can spawn with a whole bunch of tools and armor and stuff in it. You know? Because, I mean, I'm sure the speedrunners would love that, first of all. Okay, I'm not sure what to do with this side, but we are basically done with this area. And this area being so let's put like can I put like garden beds? Oops, uh vineyard. That's much larger than I expected. But I can still kind of fit it. Hmm. I'll have to keep that in mind for later. We have a vineyard. Um put some flowers back here. I kind of wanted like garden beds and not. Yeah, we'll put this in the corner. Garden light, garden shed. Lighthouse guard. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Put a little lighthouse in there. Are we having a... Are we having a garden or are we having a mini golf course? Okay, that's not. Um, city garden bed. What if I put some gardens on the garden bed? Oh, shoot. Um, able to make 20 airplane bottles worth. Yes. I don't remember how I did gardens in the other one, but whatever. We got gardens. Um, honestly, weird stuff happening in Minecraft is much scarier than how like half the horror games, and that's true. And I think the reason why Minecraft can get so scary is because like because you can one you can literally be surprised. You can really be surprised in a way that you're not expecting it because that's not the kind of game you're playing. And B, there are stakes. Like like getting drop creepered and losing all your stuff. That's some serious stakes. That's a big deal. You don't want that to happen. You know? So when when you're in danger, right? Danger, Will Robinson. Uh, when you're in danger, like it matters. It gets your heart pumping. You can be on edge because you're trying to get like out of an area. Yeah, oh man, you can be trying to get out of an area with a haul of diamonds and junk, and you could just lose it all. Just you know, you could get yourself into a bad situation. You could get into backed into a corner in a cave and whatever, and have to run for your life because there's like a little baby zombie running at you with a sword. Um, it can be scary. Okay, I think we're done with scenery for today, and we've started to connect these two and started to build out these kind of suburbs, which yeah, we that's been a long time coming. Um, but I am going to run this as late as it takes me to put these two tank cars into my sheet. Um, so bear with me as we do this, and I will organize my desktop thusly. Put that over there. Move that to there. And switch this back to screen because that way I can see everything and you can see everything and We've got two kinds of tank cars. We've got the edibles tank car, the little baby one, and we've got the larger tank car, which is the 50-foot tanker CGTX, which has some stuff that we otherwise don't have. So I think we're gonna do these two first. Oh shoot. We're gonna do these two first. The 50-foot tanker. And it's got a bunch of stuff, and again, some of this we don't have. Paint! That's paint. Paint tank load. I think we actually have that though. So yeah, we have to add these to our assets spreadsheet. It's gonna be a bit. This is how we're gonna round out the day. If all you came here for is scenery, you can probably tune out now. But if you're here for me, you can stick around. Assets and timetables. Locomotives and cars. Locomotive roster. No, not the side panel. Minecraft is unlike Escape from Tarkov or Rust or DayZ in that you lose more if you die and lose your inventory. Plus, there are no server wipes that make the loss in Minecraft feel more impactful. Honestly, it's maybe that last part that's the most important. Yeah, like you can't go back to a checkpoint or anything, and losing all your stuff in DayZ is pretty killer. I mean, I can tell you about it. There are some DayZ videos from a long time ago kicking around on this channel. We do need a bromine industry. I think we have bromine. But yeah, okay. 50-foot tanker, CGTX1. So that's going to go here. 50-foot tanker, 50. 50-foot tanker starts with T, so we'll go here. Insert 3 columns right. 50-foot tanker, CGTX. CGTX. And then we're going to do that right there. And I'm going to just do this. Make sure we get rid of all these. Should have been doing that last time. And before it gets away from me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this one as an identical, which is DMIX tank car. Because I think they're identical. Let's see. 91700, 91700, and this one is 91700. Yeah, so they are identical. Units, Q, item. Ah, shoot, back to the bottom. I need to see this. I think it's also because of how close early stages of Minecraft gameplay are to real life. We have attachment to locations, items, pets. That's also true. I mean, losing a pet in Minecraft is awful. Like, I've held grudges. And I'm not one to hold grudges. But, alright, let's see. Hold on. I gotta dig into this. Ammonia. Also, the ammonia is currently bound to some other tank car. It's bound to the tanker 40-foot SD Warren. Yeah, and that's fine because that's like a normal tank car. So this is going to be, this is all going to be the same. 91700, 91700, and then 00. And we're going to copy, let's see, an alternate, which is going to be this one. Oops, nope. Control Alt V. There we go. And we're going to go from there. I think one of the things is, because I've thought about this with OpenTTD, with the OpenTTD server. Nobody wants a copy of the old maps. Nobody gets upset when it shuts down. It's the end of a game. Oh god, we can make bombs. Ammonium nitrate. Here's how you can build a bomb. I know I would have to clear that right there. But yeah, it's OpenTTD, you have server wipes. You're used to them. You go back to the beginning. You start anew often. Like, very frequently. Like, that's sort of the whole dealio, is starting from nothing and building up. And people sometimes get caught up in restarting Minecraft over and over again and then trying to beat it. You know, like, Minecraft is a game that it seems like you're designed to linger in a world for a long time, and it really feels to me like people go into Minecraft, especially these days. It just feels like this is the mindset on a lot of servers. It isn't, oh, let's just hang around and dilly dally and build and hang out. It's, we gotta go beat the Ender Dragon, we gotta go beat the Wither, we gotta go get netherite armor, we gotta whatever. It's a different generation of gamers, it's a different generation of game. There was a long time where Minecraft progression was really short. Like really, really short. And you could go and get diamonds in like an hour, and you could have diamond armor and you'd be done with it. Acetylene gas, which is going to be AC, that's going to be up here. Um, and so that means most of the room in the gameplay was was for building. Like there wasn't a lot of room for the trying to beat the game. Now there's enough of that you can like make that your goal wholesale. You can make that your goal wholesale and still have a reasonable time. You know, you can spend a good few hours and see how close you are to beating it before, or see how quickly you could beat it. Before, there really wasn't, you know, you could see how quickly you could get diamond armor, but you'd be done in like half an hour, and then what? You know? Um, Now there's a lot more breadth to the gameplay in various ways, but it still remains that there's enough of it to make your entire gameplay loop just trying to beat the game. Um, it'll take you a little while. All right, chlorine gas. It's going to be here. That's going to be 3. And then I'm going to make that equal to that. Okay. And then next up, chlorine gas. So we got chlorine gas. Next up is argon gas. Okay. ARGON, which is going to be QRS, so it's going to be underneath Apple Palette. Let's go from automobile invisible because I feel like that'll cause the least mess. That's going to be number 4, argon gas. There are a lot of new commodities in here. Gosh darn it. Keep scrolling over. Although whenever we find these, we have to fix them, just to clean up the spreadsheet. I do think the end should be a bit harder than it is. I mean, it almost feels like a joke for a final event thing, given the skills and tools you have, by what most would have for the end of the game. Yeah, and I agree. Like, the Ender Dragon fight is pretty darn easy, especially on Java. The Wither fight is harder, but it's not insane. Like, but I feel like leaning too far into that, you sort of run into a fundamental problem, which is that Minecraft isn't made for that kind of progression and boss fighting. Like, that's more of a Terraria thing, you know? Terraria doesn't deserve to be, oh, it's 2D Minecraft, because it's not 2D Minecraft. It's a different kind of game. It's an RPG without the skill tree. It is fighting stuff, leveling up, and, you know, fighting bosses. Minecraft isn't that. Beyond the fact that the combat system is kind of clunky and always has been. Alright. This is this one. This is going to be product number 5. Q0 product 5, corn oil. Corn oil. Corn oil. I've lost my 50 gallon. There it is. Corn oil. This is going to work. It's going to be 5, and then this is going to be, what, 91,700. And equals that. We got our carload in there. 91,700. That's got to be burned into my brain by this point. Helium gas. Do we have helium? I thought we had helium already. I thought we had helium already. I guess not. Helium gas. Let's do this. This is number 6. Love how the warden, the easiest one to randomly find, is the hardest to deal with. No, honestly, because the warden isn't a boss, right? Um, the warden you're not supposed to fight. The warden you're supposed to hide from. It's supposed to be hard. And I think that was actually a smart play by Mojang to invent a boss that doesn't give you anything, that just acts as, well, a warden. Um, Hydrogen gas. There's no advantage to farming the warden. He's just someone you want to stay away from. And that's fair. It's good. It makes you actually think, instead of, oh, I've got the best armor and weapons in the game, I'm just going to walk in here and take what I want. Hydrogen gas. Okay. Next up. Kale and Slurry. This one we have. And I'll be honest, I haven't fought a warden. I haven't even played that version of Minecraft yet. We've been talking about doing, and by we, I mean Gloria and I specifically, playing some vanilla Minecraft. And I need to figure out what the next thing I'm doing for Monday videos is, but I don't think it's going to be that. That said, it would be kind of fun. It's just difficult to record them and I. Kale and Slurry. Okay, right. We already have this, so Control-Alt-V. Yeah, there we go. Next up. Oh, that's kerosene. No, it's not. I missed. I was looking at the wrong thing. Next up, we've got the stuff in here. This is LPG, which I think we also have. Let's find out. LPG. HIJKL. No, we have LNG, not... Oh, no, there we go. There's LPG. So this is 1 and this is 0. What's next? Neon. Neon? Really? That's an interesting one. How do you get neon gas? How is neon gas found, I guess? Because it's a noble gas. NE. Neon gas. Let me actually grab this thing right here, so Control-Alt-V, and this is Q1. So yeah, I kind of appreciate Mojang thinking out of the box with that. But yeah, I've been talking about doing some vanilla Minecraft again. Phosphoric acid. I know that Gloria has a save, and I think I might want to join them. Phosphoric acid. Okay, hold on. Yeah, what about LMG? Yeah. Wait till they add that to Minecraft. There's a mod for that. Okay, that's item number 2 in the queue. Phosphoric acid. That was this one. Nitrogen gas. Wait till we find Vespine gas. Nitro, which is going to be here. Insert 1 row below. Nitrogen gas. And there we go. There's that one. Nitrogen gas, that's another new one. And I like seeing new ones, but boy, this is a lot of new ones. Oxygen gas. We're just going to have, like, we're going to have the chemical express derailing in a town near you. This is going to be number 4. A Minecraft gun mod, but the sound for every shot is just some guy yelling gun. Or Minecraft gun mod, but with the villager sounds resource pack. Paint tank load. I think we have this one. It'd be PA. Paint tank load, yeah, right there. So this is 5, and then I need to find, yeah, give me this format. Paint tank load. We don't want to put paint in these if we can help it. We don't want to use these if we can help it. Propane and propane accessories. Okay. Do I not have propane? That's a real shame. Uh, QRS. So, propane. I don't know why. I'm surprised I got to this point without having propane. And here I was wanting to make a propane dealer. Um, this is Q. That's item 6. Um, we're almost done here, and then we got one more to do. Sulfuric acid, 87%. That we definitely have. Which this is going to be item number 7. Sulfuric acid, 87%, right here. It's item number 7. And then sulfuric acid, the other one, I assume, 98%. Yep. Which goes right there. And vegetable oil, which I don't know if I have. Doesn't look like it. No, we have just vegetable canned on pallet. Huh. That maybe is something we could use. Vegetable oil. We're gonna go up with that, and then we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna bop bop bop. There we go. Oh, whoops. Nope. Double whoops. There we go. 9. So now we got vegetable oil. We're gonna make a lot of vegetable oil. Let's scoot these back onto that track to say that I've done them. And let's move on to the last thing we have to do today. And I know we're running late, but Gloria's on the phone. So it's fine. Kerosene. Oh, this is the JRPX 10,000 gallon tank car. JRPX. We're going to paste that up there and recopy it because of the way that copying stuff works. HIJKL. So logs 50-foot clinch. Let's insert 3 columns to the left. Put this there. Slightly increase the size of this. There we go. Drop down a line there. Units, Q, items, or item. Grab this right here and then bring it down a line. There we go. Now that we're at the bottom, we put the other one in here, which is this one. Yeah, I know. TSCX. Oh, it's the same thing, but it's TSCX. TSCX. I want to like sift through and find at least one other alternative for all of these because, yeah, it's gonna be nice. Would be nice. All right, kerosene. I feel like there's gonna be plenty of duplicates in here. We have to figure out what we want this to go for. Kerosene. Although, I really want to use these for as little as possible. It's only going to come up if it's between that and the other one. HIJK. HIJK. There's... Oh! We only have it in narrow gauge. This is our only standard gauge car for this. That's wild! It's not what I expected. I was like, I know we have kerosene already. Why is it not registering? And I see another one of these over here. Screwed up stuff. Kerosene. So grab this. It's going to be 0, 0. It's pretty close to 10,000, but it's not spot on. It is... Oh, just kidding. It's nowhere close. I looked at the running number. It's 8,500. 8,500. That's a lot of kerosene. There we go. 8,500, so it begins. So at least we've got a standard gauge car that carries kerosene. How about olive oil? Olive oil tank load. You really don't know what you're going to find. That's why I love this. Insert one row below. Olive oil. Is it comma tank load? No, it's just olive oil, capital T tank load. Interesting. And increment that to 1. Copy it again. It seems that I have gotten in the way of that right there. Copy it again. Olive oil tank load. What's next? Petrol fuel. Well, this is a familiar one. We're definitely not using this for that. Petrol fuel, it's going to be number 2. What is next? Petrol fuel. Oh, Gloria's getting off the phone. All right, loco diesel fuel. We definitely have that already. Fairly certain we have that already. LOCO. No, we don't. Well, that's really interesting. Huh. Insert one row below. Loco diesel fuel. So these are going to be specifically diesel fuel tankers. That is not something I expected at all. For the locomotives and not for other things. Okay, anyway. Palm oil tank load. That I know we don't have. PAL. Insert one row below. Palm oil tank load. I'm going to assume that it uses the same formatting as the other one. And this is 4, I think. Palm oil tank load. Yep, that's 4. And then corn oil, which that we have. What a oh, it's from the other one. So since this is the edibles tanker, do we want to make it this one? Do we want to make it this one? Because corn oil, I don't know if we should. This is a tough one. I think we'll just keep it in the big one. I think we'll keep it in the big one. It is something that strikes me as you're not really gonna requisition it in small commodities, and there isn't much difference either way. So we'll keep it in the other one. Sadly, I've lost my tank car. Corn oil. Yeah, there it is. So let's copy this. And that's what number? Is that number 5 or number 6? I think that's number 5. I think I did that one already. I already incremented that, so that's good. Yeah, this is 5. Then we have peanut oil tank load. All right. Can't have that on my railroad. Hold on, let's get rid of that little tumor right there, and also fix this while we're here. Peanut oil tank load. That's PEA. So P, PE. N comes before S. Just a car full of P's. Peanut oil tank load. That's going to be number 6. I'm going to copy the formatting from here. It's such a weird thing, that Control-Alt-V. It's physically difficult for my hand to get my fingers on that. Peanut oil tank load. Soy oil. That one I don't think we have either. QRS, soy, SOY. We have soya beans. What about soy oil? And it doesn't say tank load. Does it? Did I miss that? No, just soy oil, because it's from a different commodity set. Fascinating. And this is going to be number 7. Right? Yep, number 7. Vegetable oil. This one I'm fairly certain we have, because we were just looking at it. Yeah, this one is one of the new ones. I'm not sure if I want to move these over to being this kind of tank car as a default. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure if we should keep because we've got diesel fuel and we're not using petrol, but the kerosene and the diesel fuel go in here. Um, Otherwise, it's all of these, and then canola. Okay, we got to do canola oil next. Um, C CAN canola. No, N comes after O. No, O comes after N. Sorry. Um, I knew what I meant, but I said the wrong thing. Canola oil, and I'm guessing that's not tank load. No, it is. It is. Okay. Tank load. Okay. Well, we need to steal the formatting as per the usual. It's number 9. Give me this. Product sugar syrup tank load. Oh boy, we're getting into the real special ones now. PR for product. Uh, Product. It's going to be right above propane. Product, sugar, syrup, tank load. We're getting some interesting stuff to bring out of Bellington and South Bellington, that's for sure. Okay. Product, sugar, syrup, tank load, and then finally diesel fuel, which we're definitely not doing, and that's commodity number 11. So I'm not even sure if we can load these with the thing. Diesel fuel is going to go right there. This is going to be number 11, like I said, and then we're done for today. We went 15 minutes over time, but it's okay because we started a half hour late. Okay. We got all sorts of new tank cars. We got all sorts of new freight cars. We're doing great. Staging, we need to have space for all of these things. All of these things. So, when we seed the route, we're going to need at least 2 cars for every commodity. We've got an Apple iPhone factory, yeah. We need 2 cars for every commodity. We need one unloaded and one loaded and one unloaded. Now the thing is, I don't know if that's going to be doubled per industry. So you're going to have 4 cars per single car load. Well, no, 4 cars for 2 car loads. That just doesn't make any sense. But there's going to have to be some extras. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't like every industry should have a car staged at it and an equivalent car to be swapped out at a yard somewhere. Um, and maybe that means we have 4 times as many cars as we need, but maybe not. Or twice as many cars as we need. Maybe if there's an industry that puts out the cargo, then we don't need to double up. But we only need to double up if there's stuff that's not ready. Maybe we should just triple up. Yeah, because everything should be swapped out, and then you swap out, and then you swap out. So if something's going in and out, there should be 3 of that, 3 cars per car load. And yeah, I mean it's going to be full up, but we'll see how it goes. The other thing is, I think Olive needs help. Like Olive Yard is not very well designed. Like it's not terrible, but it's not good. There's less space between the tracks than I remembered, but yeah, it's not great. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. This is the Admiral.